Hello and welcome to another episode of The Struggles of Struggling with Real Brain. I will be talking about deeper details about my abusive teenage relationship this episode, so let's get into it right now. When I started dating my teenage abuser, I felt really uncomfortable when he put his arm around me at first. That was like the first sign of maybe I shouldn't be with this person, but I ignored it. And I just kind of thought to myself, because I was being bullied by frenemies, that this would prove my worth. That would prove that I wasn't as, not enough, as my friends would say, my frenemies would say about me, to me. I started dating somebody just because I felt like I needed to prove something, and it ended up being an abusive relationship. And the first sign of me should have left the relationship completely, but I was 14 years old at the time, and I wasn't really aware of, I was so broken down that I wasn't aware of my own intuition telling me that I needed to leave. I felt uncomfortable the minute he put his arm around me or held my hand. Now that is, sometimes you feel uncomfortable. That may not be a red flag or anything, but I just felt it felt forced, this relationship. And then I started to keep the second red flag was he would make me wear his, old Navy big gigantic sweater. He wanted me to hide myself. He didn't want me to wear things that made my personality shine, that made me shine, that made me happy. He wanted me to just be wearing a gray, big, gigantic sweater. Now it might be a Letterman jacket or something else that a boyfriend could be, or a girlfriend could be forcing me to wear, and he made me wear it year round. So even in the spring and the summer. And it would go on like that. He also was very much I remember the first time I got a phone call when I was out shopping with a friend, and he got mad at me because I was alone without him shopping. And I remember him calling my cell phone and him being like, "Where are you? What did you do?" And that's when he started to pick off people that I could and couldn't talk to out of my friends group. We had to approve these people as friends, and they were my frenemies most of the time that were being approved for him because he had leverage over these people. So he started to use that. That was another red flag of me not really seeing, to use the leverage of his friends, our close friends that we had together. And he would tell me, "You can't talk to this acquaintance or this male friend or this female friend," because he knew certain people were going to essentially tell me that this was not a healthy relationship. And I did talk to them, but he would constantly skip classes to keep an eye on me. So he would stalk me while I was in class, while we were dating. And he would get mad at me whenever he knew that I was talking to somebody that was my friend, not his friend. And essentially, that's when the arguments would start to happen, and they would get worse and worse and worse, and it would get to the point where he shoved me in a locker when we were after school. The school was pretty much empty. He shoved me into a locker, and that was when I was around 15. He shoved me into a locker, and he essentially did that again outside in front of a whole bunch of people. but it was into a car he shoved me into. And he also, we got into a big, huge argument because I was talking to an acquaintance that I went to elementary school with. And he essentially just got so angry and mad that he took my wrist and he twisted it. And I thought it was broken because he twisted it so hard that I wasn't expecting him to twist. And I was crying so hard because I thought that he broke it because it was so painful. And he would always apologize and give me lavish gifts like teddy bears or buy me lunch whenever he thought that he did something wrong. And he would always cry and make himself out to be a victim. And it was kind of, and I felt bad for him because I was empathetic to him. And I didn't realize that it was manipulating me. It was kind of just like, just his way of working my mind. And we would have on and off breakups too, but he literally broke me down so bad that I couldn't see past the relationship with him because he constantly would tell me, you're never going to be good enough for another guy. You're never going to be, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not fun enough. Another guy is never going to want you. I'm the only one that's ever going to want you, so you should be lucky for what you have. And essentially I just thought, okay, well, I'm stuck with this guy because no other guy is going to want me. No other friends are going to want me. And it wasn't true at all. He was just manipulating me, and he would use these, like, gifts and these words. And my frenemies were also in on it. They would constantly tell me, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough to be friends with anybody else. So they would enable the abuse because they were abusing me themselves in their own way and hurting me and being mean to me. And when I broke out of the relationship, as you've heard on my date rape story, the stalking started to begin. And my frenemies were in on that too. And they were literally sending me death threats. And the thing that I should have done at the time was kept notes of everything and kept the death threats to myself because allegedly I didn't think that my principal would allegedly break the law and would allegedly destroy physical evidence that I was being stalked and would allegedly not keep a student safe. So I was constantly in danger, and the only people that were there for me at the time was my mom. And this was even before the stalking happened. And certain teachers that I was really close to, they would kind of shelter me and kind of keep me safe because they knew that I was in an abusive situation, not only with my abuser, but my frenemies. And they would keep me safe. So, and we would joke about it because they were the only ones that really saw that I was being taken advantage of and being mistreated badly. And I didn't feel like there was a way to escape it. And once I broke free of that, it became worse. I became so... I thought that I was scared before. I was even more scared. I broke out in a hive on my back, like a red hive, from my neck to my lower back. I was in a red hive because of the stress that I was being put under. My school counselor was not supportive at all. She in fact blamed me for what was happening to me and kind of made jokes about it and turned around and said, I don't believe you. I don't believe anything that you're saying. The principal would make me feel like I was crazy. And the teachers that I were with had to report that I was literally being abused, that I was literally being written death threats. and they had to report it because they had to give it to the principal, and the principal was supposed to send it to local police officers, but allegedly she didn't do that. Allegedly she destroyed the evidence. So I suggest people that are in this situation to keep a journal and log everything, and also keep the death threats on your person and keep them in that journal so you can turn around and hand it to your local police officer, because then you can get a restraining order. Because I couldn't even get a restraining order because of the situation, because allegedly the principal kept actual evidence from the police, and there was a local police officer that came to our school and would be there 3 days a week, and he couldn't give me a restraining order, one, because he thought that I was too emotional, two, because there was not enough physical evidence to prove that I was being stalked. And allegedly he did look into the situation of my abuser, and he found out that my abuser wasn't even supposed to go. Not only was my abuser not allowed to go to my school, was not in the district, he was living off of a student visa that was expired. So he wasn't even allowed to be in the country. And if I was able to get that restraining order, if allegedly the principal did not destroy all the evidence, then I would have been able to get a restraining order. He would have been 100 yards or more away from me. He would have had to go back to his school district, if not. And not only that, if he broke that restraining order, he could have ended up being sent back to his country. So these things are very important, and I didn't know at the time that that was what I needed, because I was so involved in the situation that I couldn't think past what was happening to myself. And I didn't know that at the time. He was draining me financially too. Even though I'm a teenager, I take, like, my mom would give me allowances and give me lunch money. My abuser would make me pay for lunch, would make me make lunches, and he would get upset if he spent $300 on a pair of shoes and forgot that he was supposed to bring lunch that day. I was scrambling to figure out, where am I going to find the cash? Where am I going to find, like, do I have to go home and do we have to go to my place to eat lunch? All of these things came to my mind because I was constantly aware of, like, making his life more comfortable, not mine. And that's what the abuser does. And I was so wrapped up in it. Not only during the abuse, I didn't see what was happening because I was in it. But after that abuse, I was during the stalking and the bullying and almost physical altercations, I literally did not see, I couldn't see past what I should have been doing. And mind you, I didn't even think that my principal, my vice principal, both my principals would allegedly literally destroy police evidence. That is crazy to me. Schools are supposed to protect the people that are protect the students that are being harmed. And that's what the school didn't do. The counselor didn't do that. The counselor didn't report to the principal what was happening to me, what she should have done. The principal should have allegedly brought the evidence to my law. She should have brought the evidence to the local police officers. Like, I thought I was supposed to trust these people. But what I've learned from my experiences, don't trust anybody in this situation. Keep the threat notes to yourself and keep them in a journal, and make sure that you log the stalking times that they are stalking you with, and then bring it to your local police officer. And don't get caught up in the fact that this happened to you, which I also did. I also said, why me, for many years. I didn't understand why this happened to me. I didn't understand why. What did I do wrong to cause this to happen to me? But what we should be doing is focusing on the fact that we made it out alive, that this is a way to help other people, maybe friends going through it, maybe family members. If you don't want to speak publicly like me about things like this, I urge you to just be grateful that you are alive, because many women and men don't make it out alive. That is the biggest thing that I urge you to do, is just be grateful that you're alive, because, and this happened to you for somewhat of a reason. I know it sounds crazy to say that, but just be grateful that you're alive and don't get caught up so much in the, why did this happen to me? What could I have done to have left this sooner? It's not your fault. Yes, you stayed, but you know what? You are being manipulated. It's basically 1% your fault and 99% theirs. You really, when somebody breaks you down that much and is not only mentally and emotionally harming you, but even sometimes physically harming you, there's no real way to trust your own intuition, your gut. There's no way to do that, because you literally don't trust anything that you're saying, because this person or these people have made you believe that you're the one that is the reason why, like, this is happening to you. And that's not true at all. You're not the reason why this is happening to you. Yes, you have experienced trauma, and maybe there's past experiences that maybe caused this to happen, but that's not your fault. The other person is at fault because they're doing this to you. It's not, you're not the person. You're not at fault here. Sorry. You're not at fault here. You're just trying to be in a relationship. The other person is at fault because they are literally telling you that it's okay for them to treat you that way, and it's not okay. You shouldn't be there shouldn't be any question about your relationship. You should be able to trust the person. You should be able to not be manipulated by your partner. And the fact that she even cheated on me, not only like with my frenemies, and he would do that when I wasn't around, and he would throw parties when I wasn't around, and he would literally make out with my frenemies and stuff and sleep with them. But not just that, he had strangers. He had, for the people that are millennials and around 30 to 40, that he had a Hotmail MSN account. And he had maybe 60 people that he was in a romantic relationship with, or he was cheating on me with. And he made it feel, when I confronted him, he made it feel like it was not a big deal, that it wasn't, nothing was going on. And I believed him because he manipulated me so much that I couldn't trust my own feelings. I couldn't trust anything that I was saying to myself. I couldn't trust my gut because I was so broken down already. And it didn't help that I was having these so-called friends tell me the exact same things that he was telling me. It only reinforced what I was feeling. That I was feeling was wrong. And it shouldn't have happened. But it happened. And I don't want anybody to get caught up in the fact that it happened to you. Yes, it happened to you, but you're alive. There's many people out there that don't make it out alive. So be grateful that you just, if anything can get you up in the morning, if you do leave an abusive relationship, I want you to know that getting up in the morning, just be grateful that you made it out alive. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle. You're going to have, you lost yourself in a person. You literally had to create a version of yourself that wasn't you, that you lost yourself in, to be a person that would please another person. So you don't even know who you are. So start working on finding hobbies and doing things that are very much scary to us because we don't know what we like. We don't know what we're into. We don't know things that we want to do. I would try to sign up for after-school clubs, and he would literally integrate himself into these after-school clubs with me while we were dating. I remember signing up for choir, and I wasn't allowed to sign up for choir without him. So he would literally join these clubs just to be close to me, so he could keep an eye on me. And it's those things that, like, you need to start just embodying, finding things that you like to do. And I suggest if you are going to leave an abusive relationship, you need to get a plan together. You need to go to people that you trust and find your local police department number and the address. And I want you to write that in a journal. I want you, the first page of the journal, I want you to write down that police. And a police department. And if you live with this person, I want you to keep these things secret. So give this journal to a friend or a family member that you trust or somebody that you know that keep it for you, and maybe you can call them or meet with them for lunch or something by yourself. I know that's hard to do because they constantly call you while you're having this lunch, but I want you to keep a log of everything that they're doing. I want you to keep screenshots now that we have smartphones. I want you to log every little detail that you think is unimportant, to log that stuff. And I want you to tell a close friend or a family member or somebody that you trust, a doctor, a family doctor. I want you to tell somebody, because I started to tell my family doctor the issues that were going on with why I was breaking out in a gigantic hive, because he asked, what's going on in your life? Why are you breaking out in a hive? I've never seen you like this before. And I told him everything, and he said, you're being abused. You are being stalked. This is not right. If you need me to write a note to your school or to your local police department, I will do that for you just to prove that you are experiencing extreme anxiety and stress over the fact that you feel like your life is in danger and your body is representing that danger. And that's why I want you to come up with a plan when you leave this situation. I did have a plan, but I was also really, really young at the time. And I was 15 years old at the time. Oh, actually, I was 16 years old at the time. I was 16 years old when I left this relationship. And my family was already going through enough stuff. And we were experiencing a separation of, I was experiencing a separation of parents at the time, so we were trying to just I was trying to deal with that, and so my mom and my other family members. And I was just trying to get through life, and I didn't see at the time that maybe I should have kept a journal and kept logs of the times that he would stalk me and keep these death threats that were being given to me by people that I thought were my friends. And keeping this information so I could protect myself, so I could get a restraining order, so I could prove that these things were happening. And now that we have smartphones, you could take physical pictures of these abusive situations where are hurting you. It may not be a physical punch or slap in the face. It doesn't need to be a physical slap or punch in the face. It can actually be a person twisting your wrist or pushing you into a lockout or a car. Abuse doesn't always look like a punch in the face or a slap in the face. I remember years later, he contacted me on Facebook, and I mean, you have to search for people if you're going to look for them on Facebook. So he went into a deep dive, and I remember him contacting me years later when I was around 2021, and he was starting to say, "Hey, friend," and I had to say, "Hey, if you contact me ever again, I'm going to have to call the police." But I remember also messaging too, saying, "You abused me, so why are you contacting me?" And he literally said, "I never put a hand on you, so that's not abuse." And yes, it is abuse. Abuse is mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially draining. And he didn't need to slap me for it to be abuse. And the fact that he doesn't know that he abused me or refuses, actually he does know that he abused me. And the fact that he chooses to think that abuse is not a slap in the face or a punch in the face is beyond me. He's not a stupid person, even though I remember when we got report cards, I got A's and B's and he got R's. It was only because he was skipping classes all the time. And a stupid person doesn't know not how to manipulate somebody and not know how to control a person. They're fairly smart people. They're not that stupid. But I remember getting in trouble later on, maybe a week after report cards came in, that he would punish me for getting better marks than him. He would start arguments. He would talk down to me. He would treat me badly. He would say that I wasn't good enough. He would say that I wasn't pretty enough. He would say that I wasn't smart enough. And it just reinforced all these feelings. And there was proof in my report cards. I remember being so excited about my report card because it was proof with the A's and B's and C's that I was a smart person. And I was actually really pretty in high school too. There were a ton of guys that I could have dated that were very nice to me and also saw the beauty in me, not just physically, but kind-wise. And I didn't think that I was good enough to hang out with these people or be friends with them or date them. And I didn't realize what I was also self-sabotaging myself because I was bullied, as you have seen from other YouTube, if you have seen other YouTubes of mine. I was bullied for 10 years, since literally kindergarten, daycare. I was exhausted by the time I hit high school. I just had enough. I was just kind of I'm done. I can't take it anymore. The fight is gone. It's out of me. I can't fight these people anymore. I'm tired. I am done. I will just stay friends with them to make them happy because I don't care anymore. I just lost all of the stuff that made me special. I lost the care for myself because I thought I was tired. I gave up. I just was done. I couldn't take the abuse anymore. Mind you, I was still being abused by these people that were supposed friends, and this abuser of mine that was my supposed boyfriend. But at the end of the day, I don't want you to sit there and blame yourself for being in an abusive relationship. I want you to figure out strategies to keep you safe. I want you to be proud that you made it out alive because there are many, 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 many stories and true stories of people that have literally died because they have stayed in abusive relationships or they've left abusive relationships and they ended up dead because of these people. And I want you to be proud that you actually left in your life, because there are so many other people who have family members and friends that don't make it alive, and it's so sad. And it just makes me want to tell my story more and more and more to help people, because I was that person, and I know how grateful I am to be alive, and I feel so awful that there are these people that end up dying in these abusive relationships, and they don't have to. You don't have to die to get out of the abuse. You don't have to be as scared as you think that you are. He doesn't have as much control over you as you think he does. He's scared that why he controls you is because he's, or she is, they're little people who run by their egos, and they want power over you. They're very small people. They want to reinforce that they are larger than life and scarier to you, because, yeah, it's scary to be in an abusive relationship. But guess what? They are the smallest people ever, because they are running only by ego, only by driven mentality of, I want to control somebody. Who does that? Who literally controls the person that you're in a relationship with? That's insane to me. That's why I also want you to read Saving Beauty from the Beast. And if you're a male, I want you to read this too, because this book is about actual stories about people who have lost their children. And it's written by two women, and it's stories about just education about abuse, and actual stories from other people about how their kids, how their daughters mostly, but I want men to know that they can be abused too by another male. They can be abused by a woman. Abuse doesn't have a limit to who can affect who. It doesn't happen to just women, it happens to men too. And I want you to read Saving Beauty from the Beast, because I want you to understand that there are stories of people that have lent these voices of their kids that were in abusive relationships and didn't know it, and ended up losing their kids because of it. And these two women have come up with information, and the book has recently been updated, and there's information in there that can help you. And that's why I want you to purchase this book, because when I got out of my abusive relationship and I was fully out of it, I picked up this book and I thought, I need to read this because I need to figure out a way to heal, and I need to figure out a way to stop blaming myself. And reading these stories from other people, other parents, made me realize that this isn't just something that happened to me. This is something that happens to a lot of people, and you don't even know that it's happening to them. And I really just urge you to read this book because it's so good, and it's written by two women, and they just wanted to give the information to people, to help parents, to help the people that are being abused. There is a way out. You don't always have to you don't have to leave the abusive relationship by dying. There is a way out, and it's scary. It's so scary when you leave, and it's so scary once you're being stalked. And I was scared. I didn't think that I was going to live. I didn't think that I was going to ever get out of this situation alive. I was terrified. I thought that I was going to die. I never thought that I was going to be able to tell my story and have that actually be something that came true. Just the fact that I'm so grateful that I'm able to tell you, all of you on YouTube, that I got out alive. And yeah, it was hard work, and it was not easy. It was scary. It was terrifying. But I found myself again, and it took many years of layers to heal traumatic experiences from from childhood and as a teenager. But I did it, and it was not easy to look inside myself and to actually do the work. That it was not easy to leave a relationship. It was not easy to. It's not easy. It's probably not easy, but it's worth it because you get to be alive, and that's all that really matters. You don't even have to tell your story. You can just be grateful that you're alive. And just know that you have somebody out there like me that wants you to know that you can find yourself again. And yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be a lifetime of healing. But you'll be able to find yourself again. And that's why I basically want you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment on this video, and share it to anybody that you think that needs to hear this advice. Just please know that your life is, you are so much more special and amazing. That's why this abuser wants you to be broken down, because they know how special you are. They know how beautiful you are. They know how amazing you are. So that's why they're trying to keep you down. That's why they're trying to establish the power over you, to keep you down, because they know that when you find your light, you shine bright, and that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of you shining. And I want you to keep shining after you get out of this relationship. Just keep going. And with that, I want you to subscribe to my channel, like, share this to anybody who needs to hear this information. And I really do suggest you get Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to be leaving a link in my bio below. I want you to get this book. I really do. I want you to understand that this book helped me, and it can help other people too. So, and it can help you. So please, please just subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it. Keep coming back for more videos. And I thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was very long, but I wanted to give you all the details that I usually don't share that much detail in my videos about my abusive relationship. But I just want you to know that there is a way of coming out of the other side and being in a healthy, loving relationship, because there are those healthy, loving relationships. And even loving relationship with yourself. Like, that's the most important relationship that you have. That's what gravitates the healthy relationship towards you, is the relationship that you have with yourself, the healthy relationship that you have with yourself, the love that you have with yourself. And I want you to know that being alive is enough. The fact that you made it out alive is enough. It doesn't matter how long you stayed. You could have stayed 10 years. You could have stayed 5 years. You could have stayed 2 years. You could have stayed 1 year. It doesn't matter how long. Or 6 months. Or even 2 months. Like, it doesn't matter how long you stay in that abusive relationship. It's the fact that you got out and you're still alive and living. That's all that matters. So don't let your abuser take anything away from you. Don't let yourself live in that prison in your head, because that just reinforces the fact that they still have a hold on you, is when you imprison yourself inside of your head, and that's a new prison that you build for yourself. You've already escaped one, why create another one about being in an abusive relationship and staying for as long as you did? So just know that you matter. So once again, please share this video with somebody that you think can help, and please purchase Saving Me from Beast, because it helped me so much. And I just want to send all my love to anybody who is experiencing an abusive relationship. Doesn't matter what relationship who you are with, male, female, it doesn't matter. I just want you to know that I'm here for you, and keep coming back for more videos, because I'm going to give you all of my love and support, and I'm just going to keep telling my life experience and my stories, my true story, to urge you to be the best version of yourself, because I know that you're amazing. I know that you're beautiful. Don't listen to what the other people say. Don't listen to the noise. You are amazing and perfectly imperfect the way that you are. So just keep going. Okay, so next video, we're signing off for now, but until the next video, and I just want to let you know that the next video is going to be about, basically about how AI and technology is actually helping you, can actually help now with improving and stopping abuse. So I want you to check out that video coming out next week. And thank you again for everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I thank you so much. And who has been watching my videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, I hope I see you next week. Bye for now.